All right, let's talk glutes. If you are crushing leg days, but you're struggling with back pain, tight hips, knee pain, poor posture, there's a good chance that your glutes are asleep at the wheel. Today, we are gonna unlock those glutes, and I'm gonna show you how to fire them up and get them activated the right way. So when it comes to leg day, you might be doing all the right exercises: squats, deadlifts, lunges, so on and so forth. But if your glutes aren't activating properly, you are likely leaking power and causing unnecessary pressure and strain on your lower back and your knees. So here's the deal. Glutes are major stabilizer muscles for pretty much all of your lower body leg exercises. And where the issue arises is most people, especially guys, they will not train glutes specifically. Like, they figure it's covered by all the exercises we mentioned before: squats, deadlifts, lunges, blah, blah, blah. But those exercises aren't specifically targeting your glutes. Glutes are like a secondary muscle group in the majority of those exercises, which can lead to underactive glutes and overactive all of the other muscles: quads, hamstrings, so on and so forth. So what we can do here, and what I want to show you today, is how can we add in a few key exercises to specifically wake up those glutes, get them activated, and bring more balance to your lower body leg day musculature, so that we can eliminate all those problems that we mentioned before and send you further up the gains trajectory curve while being comfortable and ready and balanced to keep making gains and going beyond where you're stuck right now. All right, let's get some exercises rolling. So the first thing I want to show you is some glute medius exercises. So the glute medius is the side muscle in your glute, and that's responsible for abduction and then internal external rotation, and it is the most commonly underactive muscle group. So we're going to grab a mini band. I'm using Clench Fitness mini bands. These are perfect for what we're doing, and we have a variety of resistance levels so that you can train. You can start with the lightest one and then work your way up as you go along. With these, we're not going to be doing a ton of resistance anyways. What we're trying to do is target that specific muscle group area, in this case the glute medius, and wake it up, get it active, so that when we jump into our compound exercises, they are firing properly. So let's start with a simple lateral walk. Grab yourself a mini band, and what we're gonna do, slip it right on both of our legs. And you've probably seen these before. You might see a bunch, like girls and stuff in the gym doing it, but it's okay for dudes to do this stuff too. I had to convince myself of that. Even more recently, I had to refresh myself and remind myself that these are very important, because they will cause, like with underactive glute needs, you're gonna get knee pain, you're gonna feel lower back pain, and 9 times out of 10, it's because these glutes are not active enough. So doing the lateral walk, super simple. You got that band just above your knees, and we're gonna get down into like this athletic stance, and then we're just gonna walk side to side, do like 15 steps one direction. And notice how I'm not like bringing my legs totally together where all the resistance is gone. I try to keep it apart, and I'm spreading my knees out, and that's where you're gonna feel that glute need really engaging. So I want you to stay in that like active position, and then we're just stepping and extending that even further as we're going along. So what I like to do is like a couple sets. I'll do like 15 steps down, and then I come 15 steps back. And usually when you got the right resistance, that is gonna be more than enough to wake up these glute needs and get them rolling. All right, next up, we're gonna do some clamshells. Now this one is super targeted at the glute medius, and you're gonna need to start with a very light resistance band. Even for me, I'm still like on the green band, which is the lightest one that we have at Clench, because this one is just, it's so targeted and so focused, it doesn't take much to do. So what we're gonna do, grab the band, put it same spot as the last exercise, right above the knees, get it comfortable, and then we're gonna lay down on the floor on our side, and then you kind of have this bend in your knees. I don't know, maybe it's like close to 90 degrees roughly. Just get comfortable. And then the down arm, I usually have it kind of like laying out like this. And then all we're gonna do is open up our legs just like a clamshell would open. Pretend like the hinge is your hip, and then you're just gonna hinge on it, Come back down, exhale, big squeeze, and control it. We're not going fast. We're not like banging reps out here. What we're really trying to do is squeeze that glute medius at the top, get as much abduction or opening up of the clam as we can, and then coming back down. And again, this is gonna take like 2 to 3 sets of maybe 10 to 20 reps per side. And this one, it's like you're gonna feel it. Like I said before, this one, I'm stuck on the green band because it's just super challenging for me. And also for the dudes watching this, set the egos aside for a minute and just do this exercise to wake these glutes up, because yes, this is not a pretty exercise. It's not a big He-Man strong exercise by any means, but it 100% will help you out in those bigger lifts. Next exercise, we're gonna do some glute bridges. Now this is gonna get a little bit more of the entire glute muscle involved, and you can do this a couple of different ways. The form is the same, so you're basically gonna lay back, bring your feet up kind of under your backside, arms down at your side, back flat on the floor, and then you're just gonna exhale, and then you're gonna thrust your hips up towards the ceiling as far as you can get them, and then really focus on squeezing those glute muscles at the very top. Squeeze, and then control it on the way down. Exhale, squeeze, flex those glutes, and bring it down. Now this is gonna hit more of that glute maximus, the big part of your glute. Coming back down. And then if you wanna bring in some of that medius, you can grab a mini band, just like we did before. Loop it around. Bring it up above the knees. And now the abduction or spreading your knees apart is gonna activate that glute medius. So as you're coming up, just focus on kind of spreading out a little bit and then squeezing at the top. Control it on the way down. Just thrust those hips up. We're not going fast, like I said before. It's all about control and getting those muscles activated and firing and feeling that burn. And this is the same thing as before. You're only gonna have to do maybe 2 to 3 sets of like 10 to 15 reps of this, and those glutes will definitely get woken up. Next exercise, we're gonna do some glute kickbacks. So what I have here is a 34-inch resistance band from Clench Fitness. We just launched these maybe about a month ago, and I'm using a low anchor point. And then to set this up, you're basically gonna hook the band around the bottom of one foot and then get it back. And then we're gonna lean up against the wall and basically try to have your down leg straight underneath of your hip, and then we're gonna bend forward. And now we're gonna be focusing on this, basically kicking through, and you wanna kick low. So your toe is like just off the ground. So you're gonna kick low and long and really stretch that leg out, keeping that forward bend and focusing on squeezing that glute, flexing that glute, and then control it on the way down. Bring it back, tension comes off. Too much tension came off. Reset. If you got to get yourself a little further away from the wall to keep tension. That's why I like using this 34-inch band, because it'll allow you to get more range of motion under tension versus a 41-inch band. So we're kicking through, low and long, big squeeze. Control it on the way up. And again, this one is slow and controlled. Really squeeze that glute at the top. Bring it back. Exhale on the way up, squeeze. Control it on the way down. And then just switch legs and do the other side. Again, same thing as before, 2 to 3 sets, 10 to 15 reps, and then you can work your way up on the band tension. That's one thing that's sweet about bands, is you can start super light, get the form figured out, get those glutes activated, and then bump that resistance up as you get better and improve. All right, so those 4 exercises are excellent for activating the various glute muscle groups and getting them fired up, strengthening that mind-muscle connection. And I recommend doing them as part of a warm-up routine, like before you get into your heavy leg day, and or use them on like your recovery days, just to keep that mind muscle connection alive and keep the muscles balanced as you're growing and progressing with your daily leg day or your weekly programming in the legs. If you want to get more into the like hypertrophy, muscle mass, big strength gains in the glutes, you could do like the kickbacks, where you start to really up that resistance and kind of drop the reps down into that hypertrophy, 8 to 12 rep range. Another great exercise that you probably see a lot of people doing are hip thrusts, and you can do those with a band, with a barbell, and those will help you to grow strength as well. And there's obviously tons of other exercises and machines out there for growing your glutes and strength, but I just wanted to list off something so that you could throw that in as well. So at the end of the day, the moral here is, if you want to get stronger and stay pain-free and keep your muscles balanced in the low end, make sure that you're training your glutes and doing some specific exercises to keep those glutes activated, like the 4 that were just recommended. So if you like what you saw today, be sure to smash that like button. Also, if you want to see more content like this, we have tons of content on the Clench Fitness channel. I'll post a couple of links up above. And also, if you need any of the resistance bands or accessories, the mini bands that we shown today, head over to clenchfitness.com. We would love to hook you up, and thank you so much for watching.